In June 2016, 17.4 million people voted for Leave, but by January 2019 there were only an estimated 14.8 million Leave supporters. My video from January 2019 explained.
I'm saying the future of this country depends on following what 17.4 million people said, and that is leaving the European Union.
The mandate we have is 17.4 million people.
17.4 million people voted to leave, a clear majority, and we must honour that.
17.4 million people, I think, up and down this country, who would say that if the vote that took place in 2016 was not honoured by this Parliament, that would be breaking faith.
On the 23rd of June 2016, there were 17.4 million Leave voters and 16.1 million Remain voters. Since then, some have died. Some have changed sides, from Leave to Remain, and from Remain to Leave. Some now don't know, and there are new young voters who've come of age. That gives a new estimated total today of 14.8 million Leave supporters and 16.5 million Remain supporters. There are no longer 17.4 million Leave supporters. That number is outdated. What's your view, Prime Minister?
The Conservative Party in government are going to deliver on the will of the British people.
Excellent, Prime Minister. So if you're going to deliver on the will of the British people, you cannot go ahead with Brexit. Britain doesn't want Brexit. Why not put the question back to the people to find out?
17.4 million people, it is true, voted to leave the European Union. But there are 65 million people in the United Kingdom, and besides, at least 2 million of those 17 million have changed their mind.
If Parliament can't get a grip on this, then it's time to face up to the fact that Brexit cannot be delivered, take it back to the people and have a people's vote.
A people's vote would be the first opportunity for people to vote on the facts, not on the fantasy and the fabrication.
The only way forward is to have a people's vote with the option to remain.
And now, polls consistently show that most voters in Britain believe it was wrong to leave the European Union. What's more, a significant majority say they would vote to rejoin the EU if a new referendum were held today. Polling expert Sir John Curtis summed it up. It appears that Brexit has not survived the test of time at all well, so far as voters' evaluations of its success are concerned. Recent Conservative governments and the right-wing media have often cited the 17.4 million votes cast for Brexit in 2016 as a lasting mandate. But support for Brexit has been in steep decline since the referendum. There haven't been 17.4 million Leave supporters for years. Brexiters argue that the 2019 general election provided a renewed mandate for Brexit, but this claim doesn't hold up. In the 2019 general election, most voters didn't vote for the Conservatives. Most voters in 2019 backed parties that supported another referendum on Brexit. Brexiters now suggest that Labour's landslide victory in the 2024 general election as a self-proclaimed Brexit party signals widespread support for staying out of the EU. This narrative also fails under scrutiny. Polling reveals that a significant majority of Labour voters in the 2024 election support rejoining the EU. Similarly, in 2024, the Liberal Democrats achieved a record number of seats, and polling shows that most of their voters also back rejoining the EU. The 2024 election results and recent polling data clearly show that most voters now support rejoining the EU. While the Reform Party's success highlights ongoing support for a hardline Brexit among a minority, their overall share of the vote remains small. At 14%, their influence doesn't overshadow the pro-EU sentiment among Labour, Liberal Democrat, Green, SNP and other voters who collectively commanded a significant majority of the vote in 2024. The Conservative vote share plummeted to around 20% in 2024, down from 44% in 2019. This sharp decline reflects widespread dissatisfaction with not just the Tory government's performance, but also its handling of Brexit. And it should be added that the public thinks that the Labour government is also handling Brexit badly. Despite growing public support for revisiting Brexit, successive Prime Ministers have refused to hold another vote. Labour Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer insists the Brexit debate is over. If our leaders won't grant us a new democratic opportunity to reconsider Brexit, then it's up to us, the people, to demand one.